In a few weeks, it's going to be 2016 and a brand new year to start over, a brand new year to reboot, to align, to balance, to figure out what the fuck you want. And my wish for you is to mentally come out of the gates like a muzzled greyhound and attack all your goals and start off really strong with 2016. It's also my wish for myself. So let's talk about how we're going to do this. I'm going to do it through questions. I think there are some questions that you have to be honest with and that you have to answer as a guideline to pushing through and giving you what you want. Okay? Number one, you have to know what you want. And I know that sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't know. A lot of people have ideas. A lot of people are depressed or stuck and they're frustrated, but they really haven't asked themselves what they want. And it can't just be money and love. You know, it's got to be specific. I mean, we all want those things. And to figure out how it ties to your story, which is where the power is, to make it specific, where I end up having a lisp when I say that word, specific. I turn into Drew Barrymore when I say specific. Okay, so to tie it back to your story, to figure out more, to narrow it down, you want to ask yourself why you want this. Okay, so whatever it is, why do you want it, and tie it to your story. Looking back at your story and the meaning behind why you want this, right? Because there's going to be more traction and you're going to figure out what exactly it is that you want. Okay, so what's the why? Why do you want this? Let me give you an example. So for me, one of the things that I want that I'm getting now, but I want more of, is sleep. And if you've been following my story, I've had just crippling insomnia for the last 2 years, which just affects everything, and productivity and attitude, your mental state, and you end up just spinning, not getting a lot done, and your quality of life goes down the drain. So, for example, so I want sleep, okay? Why and how it's tied to my story? I believe that me chasing and accomplishing that goal is going to reveal why insomnia was prescribed in my life. Does that make sense? The value in me figuring out my rest is going to bring me clarity on why that problem was presented to me. Because I believe, and I'm discovering now, that I'm going to find peace with sleep, not from things in a bottle, but from learning how to breathe, from meditation, from things that I've always been curious about and know that I needed for myself, but never really pursued or plugged into my life. I've always observed from a distance, and pulling the cord on my sleep is forcing me to now really dive in, be patient, and practice those things, which I think are going to pay off as I get older, right? So that's the gift there, and so that's how it's tied to my story. So what do I want? One of the things I want is to sleep better and cure my insomnia, and which is happening, which is I'm on that path. And why do I want this? Because I want to figure out why insomnia was prescribed in my life, because I think there's a valuable lesson there, and it's going to shoot me into some discomfort, and it's going to shoot me into a world that I have to explore and get comfortable with in order for me to be a better version of myself and prepare me to accomplish bigger things. That's my belief. It's the only thing, it's my choice, and that's what I decide to believe. And if I do believe that, then I'm suddenly leaning into solutions, right? So what do you want? Why do you want it? And make sure that you tie it back to your story. If you say you want money and you want it because you want to eat out all the time and you want financial security or fancy handbags, I mean, okay, we all do, right? But make it personal. You make it personal, you tie it to your story, and there's a lot more traction there. So what do you want? Why do you want it? Put a bookmark there, and I want to go talk a little bit about changing your state. I think that One of the things that is a must that we need in order to get what we want, and it's going to take time, it's a practice, is self-confidence. It's the belief that you can actually accomplish what you want. A lot of people want things, but they don't believe they could accomplish them. So self-confidence and knowing that you could actually get what you want and believing it with every fiber of your being takes time, it takes patience, it takes a lot of practice. Self-confidence doesn't just appear. It's not, it's not in this video. It's not a light switch. It's not in a self-help book. It actually takes a ton of practice. Setting yourself up for experiences that are new and realizing that they're achievable. If you don't believe that you can do something, even when you actually can, you're not going to do it. So you have to believe that you have the ability to do that. How we get there is different for everyone. I was just watching a video, and I'm not going to show it to you guys because I don't edit or prepare, as you can tell. I just vomit. Of a guy on it's a GoPro video commercial, and it's a guy on a bicycle, like on the top of the rooftops in Italy, 200 feet, on these little steep cliffs, and he's balancing on one tire, just doing things that look impossible, right? And you know that he's broken bones. You know how long it's taken for him to practice and practice and practice to jump from one rooftop to another on one wheel, right? But he's done it so much that his confidence level in doing that, and his certainty and his belief in what he can do, is it's so strong that he hits flow and he accomplishes things, right? But of course, my point in saying this is that it wasn't overnight. He has mastered his craft to get there. He's probably obsessed with what he does, right? So I really think that you have to get to that level. Whatever your goals are, know that you have to start first off by believing in what you could accomplish. If you don't believe that you can do something, it doesn't matter how bad you want it. It just becomes wishful thinking. You have to practice believing in what you can do, building the confidence to go after and attack what you want, and then it's a lot of which we're going to get into: structure, program, accountability, right? Whatever works for you. So let's talk about that. To get what you want, you have to have some form of structure. You're not just crossing fingers here and wishing things happen for you in 2016. You have to build a program for yourself. One of my goals is for 2016 is to be a published writer, and I have to write a book, and it's not going to write itself. It starts with words and sentences and paragraphs and hours staring at a blank computer, which turn into chapters. And then when the book is done, you're doing revisions and all this stuff, and it goes through a process and other people's opinions and then coming back to you. So the goal is to finally be a published writer, right? That's what I want. Why do I want this? Because there's a certain accomplishment being a writer, and being a writer with poor grammar and bad spelling and all that. But the being in a world where you could actually publish anything yourself, going through the published route for me is valuable, because and this is just for me, it just makes me feel legit, and it makes me feel like I am officially a writer. So I need to go to that process. For me, I want that, and the fact that I know that bookstores are kind of non-existent now, but the idea of walking into a bookstore and seeing your book on the shelf, I think to me that's something that I want. That's meaningful to me. So chasing after that, how I'm going to do it, and believing that I can do it. So having that certainty that I can write a book. So my belief is that I have written a couple books. I've written, a screenplay. I've written things, and I've accomplished that. So I've given myself that experience, right? So starting with that, and then building on that, and building on that, until like the guy on the rooftops of Italy, balancing on one tire, and literally jumping off roofs, doing a flip in the air, and landing on a different building. That kind of having that kind of certainty and that kind of fearlessness in what you do, tasting that and incorporating that into what you're obsessed about I know that's what's going to get me to accomplish that goal. Not that it's going to be easy, right? And then accountability. If you can't make yourself accountable, have people that care about you, that you trust, make yourself accountable. I have a solution for you guys at the end of this video. Husbands, friends, life coaches. I actually think that it's more powerful when people make you accountable who you don't really know, like life coaches. I think that friends, family, that people that are close to you, accountability is going to come off as nagging, and you're not going to take them seriously because you already have a relationship with them as a friend or a family member. I think it's more powerful when you have someone that's a professional of making you accountable, and also if there's some kind of monetary exchange, you're going to be more accountable. It's just the way it is. Okay, next question. If you can't seem to run toward your goals, what's holding you back? And for some people it's fear, and then you got to figure out what kind of fear. Is it fear of rejection? It's a fear of putting yourself out there. Is it fear of failure? What are those fears? What are you afraid of? And you know what? If you play it out, a lot of people are afraid of a lot of things, and they become this big monster in their head. But if you play it out, maybe you'll see that it's not a monster, but it's a shadow, usually cast by your own self, your own hand. Play out your worst fears, and you may realize that it's not. Well, you'll realize two things. If you chase that string, fear, you'll figure out where it's coming from. If you play it out, you'll realize that it's not as big. So those are quick tips with that. What must you let go of? For 2016, what do you need to let go of in order for you to propel forward? What are the shackles that you need to clip on your feet? Clip on your feet. What are the shackles that you need to saw off around your ankles to let yourself soar? And what do you need to let go of? I don't know. For some people, it's anger. For some people, it's previous relationships. For some people, it's usually stuff in the past. It's things that you're holding on to that are just holding you down. Maybe you need to let go of unhealthy friendships. Maybe you need to let go of old passions, old blueprints. Maybe you need to let go of answering your phone when your parents call. Maybe you need to send them to voicemail. What do you need to let go of, and why? Okay. I think that a lot of people working with clients are not able to move forward because they're holding on to something behind them. And look, it's real, no one's holding on because they want to hold on. I think a lot of people hold on because of maybe wiring. A lot of people hold on, including myself, hold on to things because it's that record that we play, and there's an emotional attachment to that. I think a lot of people can fall into just quicksand and get stuck and get very discouraged. And when this happens, this is the opposite state of certainty. This is the opposite of the dude on the rooftop, and when this happens, we just get really slippery, and then we start trying to cope in unhealthy ways, and then there's maybe some shame behind that, and then we just fall deeper and deeper and deeper. So ask yourself what you need to let go of. Okay, what is holding you back, and what you need to let go of. Final question, as you get discouraged, because we all know that when the new year comes, we get pumped up to do everything from building new companies to new bodies. And as the weeks go by, like Alka-Seltzer, we just start to, our motivation dissolves, and it just becomes another year, which is not what I want, and it's not what I want for you guys. So, final question is, what's at stake? And I'm actually going to give you the answer to this question, because it's always going to come down to your potential. Your potential as when you fill in the blank as a, whatever, as a lover, your potential as a business person, as an athlete, as a, writer, as a life coach, as a whatever. So your potential, and I say that because what's at stake actually has nothing to do with you. What's at stake if you don't change your state and have a structure and chase after your goals has nothing to do with you. And I think when you make it about you is when you lose traction. Actually, what's at stake is us, the world, not experiencing what you have to offer. And I think that when you start thinking about things that way, you're able to pull yourself out of self. You're able to see yourself more as a vessel, as a conduit of something greater than yourself, working through you to turn yourself into just a prism, and allow you to have spectrum and just cast a wide net and really be a catalyst in this world and make a dent in the universe. When you pull yourself out of self and know that what's at stake is greater than you and your story, you grow some balls. You become fearless. You get on that bike and you eat it and you break bones, and you get back on that bike and you eat it and you break bones and you get back on that bike. It's a really powerful way to take everything that is you, that is ego, that is fear, that is in between your ears, and that is small, and just expand and exhale all of that stuff. So let's do a quick recap of this before I end here. 2016 is a few weeks away, guys, and it can be the year that changes your life. I believe 2016 is going to be a year that changes everything for me, right? I just believe it. And yes, there was a Korean fortune teller involved when I was 10 or 12. It's embarrassing, but it's also a choice that I choose to believe because it's good news for me. No, I'm being serious. Okay, so what? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Fuck. Okay, so recap. 2016, is it just going to be another year, or is it going to be the year that changes everything? And no matter what you believe in, let's make it a choice. Let's not make that the answer to that question be contingent on what has happened in the past or what's in front of you. Let's say that this is going to be the year that is going to change everything. And let's put a solid period after that sentence. Okay, so starting with that, then the next step is, what do you want? What do you want, and why do you want it? And be specific about what you want. And when you ask yourself why you want it, it's not just a logical why you want it, but tie it back to your story. Look at what you've been through, what you have accomplished and not have accomplished, and why you've fallen short in these areas. Why do you want what you want? And as you start to tie it back to your story, you're really loading your gun. You're loading the emotional traction that comes with that. Okay. Self-confidence, believing in step 3, believing in the impossible, believing that you can do whatever you set out to do, and that starts with a choice, but it's also tons of practice and it's practice, and it's experiences that you set up for yourself, where you start to have these shifts and you actually believe what is possible is possible. So a lot of athletes have these experiences, right? Then having a structure, having some kind of program, and following that up with accountability. So in Shift, the secret Facebook group that I created a year ago around this time, as a way for us to shift into the new year, we are having now tribes led by life coaches to make you accountable, and for 4 weeks. And I encourage you to do this. It's I think it's $29 for one. It's not recurring. It's just flat $29, which is like lunch and coffee. So we're talking about your lives, and we're talking about getting on some momentum and starting the new year with traction. What better way to do it than have someone like a life coach lead 10 of you guys who have similar goals and similar things that you want to change and shift. All do it together, right? So there's some accountability there. If you are not a part of the Shift Facebook group, email me at theangrytherapist@gmail.com, and I will send you it's a secret group, so it's undetected. So I'll send you an invite, and when you're in there, you will start to see posts about how to get involved in these tribes. All right, guys, 2016, brand new year, brand new canvas, a brand new chance, and I hope that this is a year that changes everything.